Hello guys, hope you're doing well. My name is Mahmoud Kasser and welcome to the new chapter of Advanced Algebra. So at this chapter, instead of just talking about the new topic, we would like to solve different kind of challenges, and with that we would like to see that how much we learned so far about algebra. As I just mentioned, at this point we would like to consider solving different kind of challenges and puzzles, and maybe you guys have seen in social media, and these kind of challenges would be in 5 different levels. It would start from level number 1 to level number 5. As I would like this chapter to be as active as possible, you guys have this responsibility to first of all look at the question, do it by yourself by pausing the video, then after that just look at my answer, and again you guys can completely understand it whether you did it wrong or not. So by this way you guys not only can enjoy this chapter but also can learn so many things. So let's start with the very beginning chapter, which probably you guys have seen it before. It's about the fact that I do have this guy. I do have 1, 4, 2, 5, 3, and I'm looking for the final number on the top. So at this point, the question says that each number above, this is the sum of two directly, but is the sum of the two directly below it. It means that I do have number 5, and this number 5 is the summation of 1 and 2. So find the missing top number. It shouldn't be that kind of hard. Obviously, as you can see, I do have 1 and 4. If you add them up, it would be 5. I do have some kind of 4 and 2. If you add them up, this guy should be 8, by the way. This is completely wrong. So this guy should be, this should be 6. So by having that, I do have my number that I'm looking for, that one. So obviously would be what? Obviously should be addition of number 6 and number 5. If you do that one, you would have your number as 11. So this answer is completely wrong because we assume that this number would be what, 3, which is not right. It is 6. So 6 is the addition of 2 and 4. And then if we do have 6 and 5, so my final answer should be 11 itself. So the very first challenge we do have is about summit of sums. Imagine that I do have a couple of boxes and there are multiple numbers inside of them. So I do have 1, 4, 2, I do have 5, 6, and I do have a question mark. So the question says that each number above is going to be what? Is the sum of the two directly below of it. It means that you do have number 5, for instance, then this sum kind of 5 contains two things, 1 and 4. I do have 6 is the summation of 2 and 4. And the question is simple. It asks for this some kind of question mark itself. So obviously the way that you have to do it, add 5 and 6, and you guys have the 11 like the final answer. So this is level 1. Should be so simple, so don't worry about it. So this is the challenge. Imagine that I do have this some kind of figures. It's about the cat, it's about the dog, and about the bird. So I do have 3 cats that when I add them, it would be 30. I do have cat plus 2 dogs, it would be 20. I do have cat plus 2 birds, it's going to be 9. So the question is that what is a cat plus dog plus bird? So it's somehow the 3 unknown 3 equation, but it's very simpler than that. Imagine I consider that my cat as x, my dog as y, and my bird as z. So at this point, what do I have? I do have 3x equals to 30, so obviously I can find x so fast. X is equals to 10. Then I do have x plus 2y equals to 20. Since I already have the x, I can find the y itself. X is 10, so if I move it there, it would be 20 subtracted by 10, it would be 10. So 2y is going to be 10, so y equals to 5 itself. And finally, I do have this value. I do have y plus 2z equals to 9. So my 2z, like this, my 2z equals to what? 9 subtracted by y, which is 5, went to 4. So I do have my z as 2 itself. So I do have all of the numbers. The only thing that I have to do is just add these two guys and multiply by this way. By the way, I cannot do that. Why? Because you guys remember about the PEMDAS. PEMDAS, which says that your some kind of addition and subtraction, sorry, we do have parentheses, then we do have exponent, then we do have multiplication and parentheses, then we do have addition and subtraction. So at this point, the multiplication is at the beginning, so I should first to multiply y by z. It means that my y is going to be 5 and z is going to be 2. So this answer is going to be 10. Then I have to add it with x, which is going to be 10. So my final answer is 20. So not only you have 3 unknown, 3 equation, 3 unknown, but also you have to follow the PEMDAS in order to reach to the right answer. So that was a good one. Then we do have this one. find a pattern and solve it for question marks. So I do have 2 that it just converted to 6. I do have 3 that just converted to 12. I do have 4 that converted to 50, and 5 would be converted to what? As you can see over here, 2 is just converted by 6 by the multiplication of 3. 3 just converted 12 by multiplication of 4. 4 just converted 20 by multiplication of 5. And if you follow this pattern, probably 5 should be also multiplied by 6 itself. So if you do this multiplication, you do have your final number at 30. So this kind of patterns, it doesn't have any kind of rule in themselves. They are just puzzle wise. So first of all, you have to find the patterns between the first 3 or 4 numbers, then you have to apply it for the final one in order to find your answer. So imagine this is just a normal equation. I do have 3x plus 5 equals to 26. What is the value of 5x minus 7? So 3x plus 5 is equals to 26. You guys know in order to solve that, I have to move all of those numbers in one side and consider the variable in another side. So I do have my 3x is equals to what? 3x is equals to 19. I'm sorry, 3x is equals to 21. My bad. 3x is equals to 21. So my x is equals to 7 itself. Then I have to apply this 7 over here by using the substitution method. It means that instead of x, I should use what? I should use 7. So 5 times 7 subtracted by 7 itself is going to be what? It's going to be 28. As simple as that. So this is my answer. Then I do have to find the value of x if 2x plus 3 is equal to 3x minus 2. Again, it's just a normal equation. First of all, you have to move one of these x's in one side in order to keep or isolate all of one variables in one side, then move another numbers to another side. It doesn't matter if you move 2x to another side or if you move 3x to the side. Both of them would be right. So if you do that, imagine that I do have 2x subtracted by 3x. Obviously, whenever I'm moving one, some kind of number or term to another one, I have to flip the sign. Equals to negative 2 subtracted by 3. Is that so? Because I'm moving, I do have the negative 2 over here. I'm moving the 3 to another side. So at this point, negative x equals to negative 5. And my x is equals to 5. And as simple as that. So this is the final answer as we have it over here. Then I do have another question. So at this point, my variable is, instead of just being on the numerator, is going to be on the denominator. So at this point, I do have 1 over x plus 1 over 3 is equals 1 over 2. Now I would like to find x. So 1 over x plus 1 over 3 is equals 1 over 2. It would be better to first of all move this number to another side in order to isolate all of numbers in one side and isolate my variables in the other side. So if you do that, 1x equals to 1 over 3 subtracted 1 over 3. As you know, we have to use the CD or common denominator, or LCD or least common denominator. So the least common denominator of these two guys would be 6. So I do have as 1 the denominator of 6 and another one with the same thing. So what is the number that this guy was multiplied to in order to be 6? This number was 3 over 6. The same idea over here. This was 2, so this should be 2. I do have it as 1. So 1 over 6 is going to be 1 over x. The only thing that you have to do, find the reciprocal of 1 over x, which means that your x is going to be 6. As simple as that. Then I do have another challenge. Again, it's just like the 3 unknown 3 equations. So as you can see over here, a plus b plus c is equals to 12. Then I do have a plus b is equals to 8 and b plus 3 is equals to 10. So I don't have to do that much of a work because a plus b plus c, as you can see, a plus b is already there. So this guy is 8. So it means that my c equals 8. So 12 subtracted by 8 equals to what? Equals to 4. Then I do have b plus c equals to 10 itself, right? So it means that I already know about my c plus 4. So this equation would be converted to b plus 4 equals to 10. So my b is going to be 6. If you use the 6 over this equation, in order you also can find your a. This is just extra step because we already found the b. So it would be 2 as a, and if we put the 2 plus b is equals to what? 2 is equals to 2 plus 6 is equals to 8 plus c is going to be 12. And simple as that. Then we do have another question. So this is a challenge. Find the value of x and y if I know that something like this is happening. As you guys remember, in order to answer this solution, we had different ways. The very first way was about the substitution method. It means that you can find variable based on another one, then put it inside like a second equation and you can find it. The second way was about elimination method. It means that we can find a way by multiplication of one of these equations into something in order to, and then after add them up, we can get rid of one of those variables and then get find answer. And finally, we had the matrix way. So at this point, it doesn't matter what we use, out all of them, you should have the right answer. So imagine that I do have what? So at this point, I do have 2x plus 3y equals to 12 and x minus y equals to 1. So I'm going to use the elimination method because it would be a little bit easier. It means that I would multiply both sides by 3. And at this point, if I multiply both sides by 3, I do have 3 times x minus y equals to 3 times 1. So I do have 3x minus 3y equals to 3. Is that so? If I consider this kind of equation and this equation, the only thing that I have to do, I have to add them up. If I add these two up, it would be better to rewrite them like this. So if I add these two up, what would happen? Those three y's are going to be cancelled out. So 2x plus 3x is going to be 5x, and 5x is equals to 12 plus 3 is going to be 15. So my x would be equals to what? Equals to 3. Then I know for a fact that if I use this x equals to 3 in any of these two equations, 2x plus 3y or x minus 1 equals to 1, I can find my y itself. So I'm going to use it in this one because I believe this guys with you a little bit simpler. X minus y equals to 1. It means that my 3 subtracted by y equals to 1, so I know the y equals to 2. This is the answer that you need. Again, it doesn't matter what way you're using at this point. Both all three of them should be the same, and you should have the right final answer. By the way, don't forget at the end when you found your answer, you have to double check it. Put your x and y inside both of those equations, and all of them should be right and okay. The identify swap. So at this point, I do have a challenge that if a plus b is equals to 10 and a to the power 2 plus b to the power 2 is 58, find the value of a times b. If you guys remember, when we do have the multiplication, or we do have the multiplication of one term by itself, or the square, at this point, we do have a rule, we do have a formula. It would be a to the power 2 plus b to the power 2 plus 2ab. So at this point, I already know a plus b is equals to 10. It means that a plus b to the power 2 is equals to 10 to the power 2. Is equals to what? Is equal to 100. Then I know a to the power 2 plus b to the power 2. So I do have this guy as what? As 58. So the only thing that I have to do is just move this number to another side. So my 2ab equals 100 subtracted by 58 is what? Is going to be 42 itself. So I do have the 42 is equals to 2ab. So my ab is equals to what? It equals to be 21. As simple as that. So the important thing that you have to know is about this rule, a plus b to the power 2. So try to remember that, try to memorize it, because you're going to use it all the time. In another question, we do have the challenge, and we have to simplify this. So if you guys know about the difference of perfect squares, a to the power 2 subtracted by b to the power 2 would be equals to a minus b times a plus b. Right? So at this point, I do have its condition like this. X to the power 2 subtracted by 9 to the 9, which 9 can be written at 3 to the power 2. So I can write it as x minus 3 times x plus 3 itself, divided by what? Divided by x minus 3. So these two can cancel each other, and your term would be simplified as x plus 3. As simple as that. So the only important thing that you have to know is about the difference of perfect squares, which is going to be a rule. Then we do have another challenge, and find the value of x if we know that x to the power 2 subtracted by 5x plus 6 is equals to 0. If you guys know about a quadratic equation that you talked about it, that when I do have something like this, that it would be ax to the power 2 subtracted by bx, or we can set add, it doesn't matter, plus c equals to 0, I can find my x1 and x2 if I do have the delta bigger than 0. What was delta? Delta was b2 subtracted by 4ac. Then my x1 would be negative b plus square root of delta divided by 2a, and my x2 would be negative b subtracted by root of delta divided by 2a. So at this point, the very first thing I have to find is delta to see that if I do have real numbers or not. So what is my delta? Delta is negative 5 to the power 2 subtracted by 4 times 6 times 1. So this guy is going to be 25 subtracted by 24, which is 1. Then I have to find my x1 and x2. So if I would like to find the x1, would be negative b. This time our b is negative 5. So it would be positive 5 plus root of delta, root of 1, divided by what?
divided by 2. So this guy would be 3. My x2 would be 5 subtracted by 1 divided by 2. It's going to be what? It's going to be 4 divided by 2, so it is 2 itself. So at this point, I do have two answers, 2 or 3. Since I don't have any limitation for my answer, I can consider both of them as my final value. So another thing that we do have is about the simplification. It means that we have to add these two up. It means that we have the least common denominator, you guys know. It means that I have to find a term that these guys, this one and this one, can be divided, that specific term that I found can be divided evenly by these two. So as you know, x to the power 2 subtracted by 4 actually was x minus 2 times x plus 2, because as we just saw over there, 4 is 2 to the power 2, difference of f squared. So it means that at this point, I can consider that x minus 2 times x plus 2 as my LCD or as ICD, and the only thing I have to consider is that what happened to this guy to become something like this? Nothing, so I can write it down. But what about this guy? What happened to this guy to become something like this? It means that that guy should be multiplied by x minus 2. So I do have 3 times x minus 2 itself, right? So if I do that one, as you guys know, we have to apply the 3 to both numbers inside the parentheses. It would be 3x minus 6. So I do have 3x minus 6 plus 2x. It would be 5x minus 6 divided by x to the power 2 subtracted by 4, or x minus 2 times x plus 2, and as simple as that, as you can see over here. Then we do have another challenge. If x to the power 3 equals to 64, find the value of x to the power 2 plus 2x plus 1. So at this point, you can see that x to the power 3 equals to 64 actually was 4 to the power 3 equals to 64. So by simply know this number, 4 as an answer, I can just put it over here. Use the substitution method. 4 to the power 2 is 16. 2 times 4 is going to be 8. And then I do have another one there. So my final answer is going to be 25. As you can see, this question seems a little bit challenging. But if you just have an idea in your mind that what is the number that's going to be multiplied by itself 3 times is 64, you can find your final answer itself. So here's the challenge. If 2 to the power x plus 1 is equal to 32, find the value of x. 2 to the power x plus 1 equals to 32. So 32 can be written as 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 5 times. So I do have 2 to the power equals to 2 to the power x plus 1. So the only thing that I have to do, x plus 1 equals to 5, and my x would be 4. As simple as that. So you can see that the question wasn't that kind of hard. The only thing you have to know is that how we can write down the 32, how we can break it down into its factors itself. So at this point, we talked about all of the challenges that we have, and this some kind of has been completed. So you guys learned around the 14 to 15 different kind of challenges that you had related to algebra. Some of them were simple, some of them were a little bit challenging, and some of them were a little bit advanced. But at the end of the day, you found out by knowing everything related to algebra, you're knowing a couple of rules that all of them just drive down from the very, very simple facts and acts, you can actually solve anything that you like. If you like these kind of videos, please just tell me and I can make more of them. And if you just enjoyed this specific video, I would be more than happy if you just like and share it with your other friends. That would be so helpful for me. My name is Mahmoud Kiasari. Have yourself a great day, night, whatever. See you around.